Well, there's nothing like seeing firsthand what fracking presents for our state and for our city. So this is a place where it's just all over the place. The Marcellus Shale is all over the place, and we've seen firsthand. We've spoken to families who are impacted by it that have, buffalo tanks, these huge water tanks, because their water is contaminated. We've seen, the actual fracking and just the terrible impact that it's having on this beautiful region, and we know firsthand now how it can impact New Yorkers. I mean, we feel in New York City that perhaps we're so far from this that it cannot impact us, but in fact it can, and we're very concerned about it. So many of the folks here are now sort of experts on these issues. They knew it, theoretically, or they read about it, but now they've seen it firsthand. So this is really important.
What's your greatest fear if concerning fracking?
Contamination of the watershed, contamination of our water supply, but really taking a beautiful part of our state, and turning it into a major drill zone, and that is very concerning. So. We want to stop that, and we want to ask Governor Cuomo not to permit this to go forward. In fact, we should just lay out a plan on how we're going to get renewable energy towards the future for New York State and the country.
Have you had any conversations with the governor about fracking?
Well, I not personally, but I've communicated with him. I've written to him, and he knows my position on it and the fact that I am strongly opposing it. So. We will continue to fight to make sure that it doesn't happen, and there's no evidence of how it has really has been a shot of energy for the local economy. In fact, it's been a strain on its road system. It's been a strain on these smaller towns that really have not directly benefit from it. It's really a bunch of outsiders coming in and making money out of it, and so we're very concerned about that.
Were you surprised that Bloomberg's coming out for fracking?
Well, I figured he would. He's a big businessman, and there's no reason why he shouldn't. He's a big business guy, and that's how he looks at the world. I look at the world differently, as I think many New Yorkers should. Upstate is our backyard, and it's a green area, and the area adjacent to the southern tier of the state where it's being proposed. It's one that should be preserved. So, we see all this drilling going on just everywhere, next to schools, across from homes, next to parks. So it's really out of control, and there's no reason to think that it will be any different in New York State. These companies come from out west or Midwest, and they don't have the culture of knowing what it is to be regulated. They feel that they just can do just about anything that they can get away with.
Upstate and downstate, there's a big cultural divide between the two. I know there are a lot of people upstate that are worried about fracking and oppose it, but I do know that they also definitely put up a resistance for having people downstate tell them what to do. And what would you say to that?
There's always a resistance to have people dictate from the outside what any local community should do. But we saw here also that fracking has ripped this community apart, and that in fact, because there's a level of poverty here and lack of employment, these crumbs that are thrown at families are often enough to get some support, but there's also great resistance. So is that really what we want for our state? I don't think so. I think that we should lay out a comprehensive plan for renewable energy, clean energy for New York State and the country towards the future, and we should work very hard at gaining that.
Do you have any plans on that?
That
front?
I've come out with some great ideas here that I hope to draft into legislation. I'm going to engage directly all the folks that came with us in the bus, so that they can give me some ideas as to what they felt the trip was about and what they took from it. And I think that this could be sort of like a team. A real tag team here that can go and do this across the city and across the state. And I hope to continue to communicate with everybody.
All right. And anything else you'd like to say?
Stop the drill.
Thank you.
Okay.